We have a product that was sent into the channel for review, and this is a laser distance meter. So it will basically send a laser beam and it will bounce off whatever circuit and it will be reflected back into a lens, and that will determine the distance. How it does it on the inside, we'll talk about it later. And it looks like a small remote. It's like a mini remote, sort of like an old iPod of sorts. And the packaging is very simple. Let's see what the specifications are. So this is going to be capable of doing area and volume calculation, Pythagorean proposition, indirect measurement. I don't know if this is part of this or they forgot to put a bullet point next to indirect measurement. Add subtract functions, LCD with backlight, units, we have meters, feet and inches, splash proof and dust proof IP54, accuracy plus or minus 2 millimeter, not that bad. Laser type class 2, 635 nanometer, less than 1 milliwatt laser. Battery 1.5 volt AAA times 2. Dimensions 100 millimeter, 30 by 33 millimeter by 12 millimeter, and this is apparently the model JQ-40, but we don't have the distance covered. We'll have to see about that. And this is apparently the white one. Okay. Why do they have FDA on this? We should probably do a video about what these signs mean and what it means to the product and for the consumer. Because there's FDA over here, so I'm not sure why that is. Okay, so we can do some distance, surface, A times B, volume, x squared equals c squared minus a squared. I think that should be plus a squared. Okay. Do not stare into the laser beam, very nice. Okay, so let's take a look at it, what it has to offer. So, it's like a little remote. It's like a small remote. Nifty. You have the laser beam that comes out of here and the lens that will receive the reflected one. We'll take a look at what those buttons are. We have another warning label at the back. This is probably a piezo buzzer. I don't know if you can see it. There's a piezo buzzer in there. And we are dealing with micro USB. Micro USB, it's right there. Not USB type C. Okay, that's not bad. And the lanyard is attached to it. And the user manual. Let's take a look at this. Let me adjust the camera so we can get a better look. Okay, English. Okay. Let's see. We have a bunch of safety guidelines about the laser. Do not shine into other people's eyes. Do not use the laser to show an object with a high reflective surface like a mirror. Do not place the device somewhere that children can touch or reach. Blah blah blah. All that good stuff. Product details. Okay, so we have the on button. Power on. Start single continuous measurement. And then we have number 2, which is the one that's right next to it, which is this one, makes sense, right there. Which is area volume Pythagorean. Area measurement, volume measurement, Pythagorean measurement. Number 3, which would be over here, off to the left, to the right. Front, rear, base, and end baseline. Rear dash front end unit, rear front, end base. I don't know what that means. Number 4, on off, or clear data. So I have the measuring tape placed over here at 60 centimeters, and I want to see if the wall is over here, and I butt the remote right up against it. We can see that the signal of the laser is strong. So if we push on to take in the Okay, can save that. If I move it just a bit back, further back, just a little bit. 0.58, okay. If I put the measuring tape right up against it, and I put this one right here, push on the back a little bit, because I don't want the laser point to go into that little gap under the dresser. So yeah, 5.7, 5.597, which is fairly okay, accurate enough, and it's pretty precise. But now I want to try and increase the distance. So the measuring tape is now at 120 centimeters, which should be 0.120, and I put a piece of white insulation tape because I kept on having to press on the measuring tool for the laser beam to stay up. So let's see what happens now, what measurement it will give us. Turn it on, and I will butt it up right over here. Perfect. So let's see what it will give us now. .19. Okay, that's almost 120. Fair enough. If I move it a little further back, let's take another measurement to see if that changes anything. Okay, so it's a stable, so it's pretty precise. They're all in good bounds with each other, and it's fairly accurate. Now I have 200 centimeters, so 2 meters. Let's see what the measurement gives us. Just like that. Perfect. Another one. Perfect. Excellent. Now for the final test, we have up to 3 meters. Let's see what it will give us. Okay. To make sure that the laser point is exactly where it should be. Wait. Okay. There we go. 3.8. So now that's become a bit flimsy at that extended range. Maybe if I elevate it just a bit. Yeah, that's better. So you see, this is the issue that I found out. If it's something flat against the surface, you can actually see how the laser is dragging across the floor. And then there's a huge part of reflection on the closet. So I think that's impacting the measurement. Because if I leave it flat on the floor, it will mess up the measurement. But if I lift it just a bit, so that on the sheet, on the piece of insulation tape, it's like that, and I push the button, it will give me the exact measurement. It goes back to how it was. So that's something to keep in mind. An interesting feature is this button. After using it and referring it to the user's manual, this one, the arrow on the top will tell it to include the length of the device, and the arrow on the bottom tells it to exclude the length of the device. So if I turn it on and I push the button, we can see how the icon over here has changed to include the length of the device, to not include it. If I push it, it will include it. So this means if I take another measurement, let's put the measuring tape, So the device is 10 centimeters long. We can see when we push the button how once it will add 10 centimeters and another time it will subtract 10 centimeters. So if we take the laser measuring tool and we butt it up to 300 centimeters, which is 3 meters, and now I've told the device to neglect the length of the device itself, which is 10 centimeters. So it should give me like around 290. There we go, 291, roughly that. But if I put it to include the length of the device, it should give me 3. There we go. So that's all it does. If you want to have the length of the device or not the length of the device. Another nifty feature included here is this button. First press, I could tell it will give me the area in meters squared. Another one is the volume in meters cubed. The third one is the hypotenuse using the Pythagorean theorem. I can just click on the length that I need. It tells me to give it the longest length, and then it will tell me, for example, to give it the next length, and it will give me an error because I'm just showing you how to be punching the numbers. But if I, for example, tell it to give me the first length, so I'm going to take the remote, I'm putting it up against the closet, and it's going to point to the opposite wall right over here. So this tells me that it's 3.145 meters. I'll be including the length of the remote. And then I want the second measurement. Let's delete this one. Okay. The second measurement, which will be over here. And it's going to go towards my dresser. 4.6 up to the balcony window. So it will give me the result that it is 14.68 meters squared. Okay. Let's say I want to take the volume and push this one, that's area, and that's volume. I need 3 measurements to tell me which one to take. So let's take the length, just from over here. And then it will tell me to take the other length. Okay, from the closet to the wall like we did before. And it will tell me to take the height. So I'm just going to put this on the floor and let it reflect off the ceiling. So it tells me that you have a room volume of 44.3 meters cubed.